Hi everyone, this is Yana Smakula and thank you so much for joining me today. In this video, I am sharing 7 cards and ideas using Hero Art's April My Monthly Hero Kit and add-ons. I know you guys enjoy these videos, so this is actually the first thing that I filmed in our new place after I moved. I do have to mention that my video filming setup is not set up perfectly yet. I'm missing a light, so this video will not be as well lit as my previous videos, but I'm hoping that this won't prevent you from seeing all of the card ideas that I have ready for you. Hero Art's kits are very different every month, and for the month of April, they decided to go with a celebration theme. Party, fiesta, Cinco De Mayo, birthday. These are all images and messages that you will be able to find in this month kit. I recently filmed a video with a llama die from Spellbinders and I included some Spanish sentiments and you guys love them so much. So I'm hoping that you will enjoy these cards just as much as you did that one. So let's jump in. I'm going to show you the cards that I made using the kit only first and will later show you some projects using the add-ons. I really liked the images of the mice in the kit, so I decided to use both of these to create a little scene. Here I am arranging them in my mini misti stamping tool, and I'm going to stamp the same arrangement onto several panels of white paper. My paper is cut to 4 1/4 by 5.5 inches. I've also already stamped some banners with messages, some cacti, and some other images from my kit onto another piece of paper, and I will be using those images to complement my scene. I want the sentiment banner to go across the mice on my card, so here I was just checking if my placement of the images was correct. I usually like to use my intense black ink for stamping images that I plan to color with alcohol markers, but since my move, I couldn't find my intense black ink pads, so here I'm using Memento Tuxedo Black ink for inking up and stamping all of my images. This is also an alcohol marker friendly ink. I personally do not really like this ink that much because it stains the skin on my hands and I get inky fingers and I can't seem to clean them unless I wash them for, a few dozen times. So this is just a personal preference. This is a good ink. It's just not my go-to ink. It's more of a backup plan ink for me. Now, if you hear some meowing in the background, I do apologize. That's my cats. They are asking for attention. So like I mentioned, I stamped several panels. I wasn't quite sure how I wanted to color these images, and I did mess one of the panels up. But here I'm coloring these using cool grays and purples colors of copic markers. So I'm going with the V12, V15, and V17 to color the dress, flowers, and the shirt on the musician. The dress is not a hard image to color. You have the lines that tell you where your shadows need to go, and really, it's quite easy to make this dress look dimensional. I'm absolutely not a pro when it comes to copic coloring, and I often struggle with coloring images that I've never colored before. But with this dress, it was actually fairly easy to color it the right way, or at least that seemed to be the right way to me. There are coordinating dies available for most of these images, and you do get the dies with your kit. I didn't get any dies, so I was fussy cutting all of my images out today, and you'll see me do that quite a bit later in the video using my favorite Tonic Studios scissors that I packed into my suitcase. And by the way, they have arrived safely. They didn't break. And actually, from what I can tell right now, nothing broke in transit. I was worried that my stamp platform might crack or break, but it arrived in one piece, so yay for that. And for those of you who don't really follow me on a regular basis or don't know me, you might have missed my moving video. I recently moved from United States to Ukraine, and it was quite a challenge to pack and move my craft corner. So in that video, I talk a little bit about what I packed and how I packed it into 2 suitcases, and also what things I shipped and what things I left behind. So let's go back to the coloring. I used cool grays C7, C5, and C3 markers to color the musician's outfit, and I also used warm gray W3 and W1 markers to color the skin on my mice. I also used a bit of YR00 to color the inside of their ears. Mice also come in white color, so you can just easily leave yours white if you like. Once my coloring was done, I placed the panel back into my misti and I stamped Feliz Cumpleaños, which is Spanish for happy birthday, and I used same black ink as before just to have everything match on my card. I also added It's Your Birthday banner and I colored it using same colors I used to color the dress. This It's Your Birthday sentiment isn't curved like this in the stamp set. It comes on a straight line, but it's the beauty of the clear stamps. You can manipulate them a little bit, so I curved mine to follow the curve of the banner, and I'll show you how to do that later on in this video. I decided I wanted to stamp some additional images from my kit to fill in the background, and you do get quite a few little stamps that are solid stamps, and that means that you can use them with your colored ink pads, and there's no need for coloring. So I used my purple ombre ink pad and I stamped flowers and swirls in a few shades of purple, trying to match them as close to the purple coloring on the dress. I also have already foam mounted the birthday banner onto my card, and I really like how these images added a little bit of interest to the background. I made two similar cards using the kit. Here's a look at both of them. The other scene I colored using reds and gray markers, and I added quite a bit of cacti images from my kit to fill in the scene. For the sentiment, I went with muchas gracias, which is thank you very much in Spanish, and I used my tonic aqua shimmer pen to add shimmer to the dress, flowers, and the banner. I have a thing for cacti images, so I just love all of the little cactuses in the kit. There's a saguaro cactus, a prickly pear cactus, and they're all blooming, just like they actually do bloom in spring. So it's a fun kit if you have Spanish-speaking friends or if you like celebratory theme in general. Okay, moving on to the add-ons now. My favorite add-on this month is definitely the set with the cats. It's called Cinco De Mayo. So I used this set to make a few celebratory cards. I'm not going to show you how I made each card from start to finish, as honestly these are ridiculously simple, but I will share just the important parts of the card making process. So here you have 3 different cat images in the Cinco de Mayo set, and one of the cats is wearing a sombrero. I love to play dress up with my critter stamps, so I wanted to be able to use the hat on the other cat images. Here I am carefully cutting the cat image apart from the box. I didn't like how I colored the box, but I did like how I colored the cat, so I decided I wanted to use the cat image, but discard the box. My idea was to build a little scene with 2 kitties and have that box kitty come from the behind of this other sideways kitty. I stamped the other images that I needed for this card and colored, so I colored the kitty using copic markers. I was using warm grays for the most part. Hubby and I have cats and they are black, so this sort of always dictates how I color my kitties on paper. Also, I don't have a lot of brown markers, so I kind of stay away from coloring my cats brown as I'm missing a few nice brown shades. And here you can see me cut this image out using my scissors. But like I mentioned, there are coordinating dies available if you wanted to get those for these stamps. I also needed to stamp 2 hats for these 2 cats, so I did that. I stamped a full cat image and later just the hat with a hat and colored both using copic markers. I did use different copic marker colors to make my sombreros look a bit different, and I went with the E51, Y21, Y19, Y11, and R24 for the red detail on the hats. Here I cut all of the images out, and I also added a guitar. It comes with the kitties, and you also have another guitar image in the main kit. I was planning to use Fiesta right meow sentiment, but later went with a happy Cinco de Mayo one for this card. To create a background for my kitty cards, I used the add-on background stamp. This is blanket pattern bold prints background, and I stamped it with the help of my stamp platform using various colors of ink from Hero Arts. And this, I think, is such a cool stamp. The design really is perfect for the Fiesta theme. I found that this image looks best when stamped with a Hero Arts ombre inks, because these kinds of blankets usually do come in various colors. So by using an ombre ink pad, you can add those various colors onto your image rather easily. Now, you might notice that my stamp didn't stamp well, and I was having a hard time getting a good impression. That's only because I had this stamp sitting in my carry-on bag for nearly 3 days with loads of other stuff, and it got squished a bit, and the rubber didn't have the time to go back to its usual shape, if that makes sense. So your stamp will stamp just fine. I did get this one to stamp perfectly in the end, but it took me quite a few extra impressions, but I did get a good enough background in the very end. To finish my card with the 2 cats and the hats, I also stamped and colored a few cacti images from my Cinco de Mayo set. I stamped Happy Cinco de Mayo sentiment onto a white cardstock banner, and I used a green blanket background. This one was stamped in green ombre ink. I also added some music notes stamped in black to emphasize the fact that the kitty in the back is playing the guitar, and I foam mounted this entire cluster and a background onto a green card base made using Hero Arts layering paper. And the beauty of this paper is that it has color on the outside, but it is white on the inside of the card. For my next card, I just had to use a wobble spring. I used a mini one. A regular size would have been better, but I only have minis in my stash. So I used a mini one to adhere the standing up cat. I added the guitar and 2 little cacti images onto a yellow and orange blanket background. I'm telling you guys, this background is spot on for the Fiesta theme and Cinco de Mayo. For my sentiment, I used messages from the kit, and I stamped Feel the Music in black ink directly onto the background, and I also added a banner colored in red to match the details on the hat, and I stamped Bailemos, which is Spanish for dance. I've always wanted to learn Spanish, and I actually took some online classes, so I know a few words, but I'm definitely not good enough to be able to speak Spanish fluently. Maybe one day I'll have time to learn Spanish. Who knows? Anyhow, here I'm showing how I curve the skinny strip stamps to follow the shape of that banner to make it look like as if that skinny strip was actually made to go into the banner. So I put the banner stamp on the paper facing up, so the stamping side is facing up. Next, I put a clear block on top of it, and looking through the block, I shape my sentiment stamp to follow the curve of the banner. And here we go, a perfect shape, and it looks like it was meant to go like this. I did stamp this in VersaFine ink, but later I realized that I wanted to use Copic, so I re-stamped it in another ink to be able to color with Copics no problem. The VersaFine ink, by the way, is a Copic-friendly ink, but it needs to be heat set to stay resistant to the alcohol in these alcohol markers. Here you can see me coloring this banner using red markers, and I used several of my go-to shades and basically tried to have this banner match the detail on the sombrero that I colored previously. I stamped a few more detail images in black ink directly onto the background, and that finished this card. I also wanted to show you how that Cinco de Mayo set can be used for a birthday card without any Spanish reference. Here I stamped the same blanket background in just one color of ink, pink, and it now looks like a regular background. I also stamped and cut out a few kitties, one kitty in the box, and I colored the box pink, and I added white polka dots using a white gel pen, and I also have another kitty colored using W1 marker to make it look almost white. So by changing up the colors but still using same images, I was able to make a card for a completely different occasion. I finished this one with Happy Birthday to Meow sentiment. I added some cacti and some colorful balloons and called this card done. I think that these kitties and the cacti are my favorite from the entire kit release. I love cats and I love Arizona with all of its cacti, so no wonder I love those images. Now, if you're not into cats, Hero Arts also has a dog stamp set to play with this month. And the set is called Fiesta Time, and it features 3 fun images of Chihuahua. Here, I decided to use 2 of the 3 images to make an Hola Amigos card. So I stamped one of the dogs and the sentiment onto the background panel, and I also stamped another dog, onto another panel to cut it out and foam mount onto the card. Unfortunately, I did not film the rest of the creative process for this particular card, but basically I colored it with copic markers and just foam mounted the dog with the guitar onto the card. I added a little potted cactus and embellished this card with Nuvo drops in black. For my last card for today, I did something that I love doing the most. I stamped a background pattern using cacti, guitar, and the little margarita cocktail glass. All of those images are from the Kitty Cinco De Mayo set, and I colored them using copic markers using the same colors as before. For the focal point for this card, I stamped, colored, and cut out a little chihuahua dressed in a taco costume. I adhered my background onto an A2 side folding card base. I decked a circle opening to make it into a window card, and I used a mini wobble spring to adhere the taco chihuahua on the inside of the card so you can see it on the outside and also on the inside too. I used Taco About Awesome sentiment and white heat embossed it onto black paper, and that finished this card. So that's all of the card ideas that I have using Hero Art's April My Monthly Hero Kit. There are many more fun products and add-ons available with the April kit. I couldn't show all of them in this video as it would have been way too long. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this kit and if you have a favorite set that you just must have from this release. I wonder how many of you love the cat set as much as I do. Be sure to visit my blog for a full list of supplies that I used to make these cards, and also to join the blog hub for loads of additional inspiration. Thank you so much for watching. If you have questions, please leave them in the comments section below, and be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't yet done so. My next video will be up tomorrow featuring Spellbinder's Small Die of the Month, so stay tuned for that. If you are subscribed but are not receiving new video notifications, please check the bell icon on the homepage of my channel to get notified every time there's a new video. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Bye!